Hey guys, how you doing? My name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR, or Stuart if you want to call me by my first name. Welcome to the Bear's Den. Today we're going to be looking at a game called Pathologic 2. I was given a code by the developers themselves, so thank you ever so much for that, for the opportunity to review this game. I'm going to start off by just talking about some really cool stuff within this game, some things I really enjoyed, because it's a good balance of things I didn't enjoy in this game as well, and I don't want to dwell on the bad too much. So first off, the good things. This game is interesting as all hell. It's really bizarre. Everything that happens in the game kind of happens out of order. You start off at pretty much the end of the game, I believe, and you go back to the beginning when you got the letter from your father to go to your town to go see him. He's in trouble, so you need to go and help him out a little bit. But as you're doing this, you're on a train, you're meeting these characters, and the character models are just creepy enough, and just right enough to go, something's not right about this world. I mean, actually going through the world as well, you're seeing all sorts of stuff. On day 12, you're seeing all sorts of stuff, like people are being burned, you know, they're getting rid of. There's something happening to this town, some kind of plague. So everything's kind of gone up in the air a bit. Yeah, as you get into town, you're accosted, in a cutscene I might add, you're accosted by 3 dudes, and next thing you know, you're being blamed for their murders because they are just dead on the floor. You're a guy covered in blood. So you get, it all kind of goes a bit crazy from there, I suppose. You eventually get to your father's home, and you find out that, not really a spoiler, it's less than an hour into the game, you find out that your father is dead, and you've got to figure out who killed him and why, because he's unbelievably respected in this town, and people suspect you because you just turned up on the day of this guy's death covered in blood because you've just killed 3 dudes. Again, as far as you know, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I've played a bit more for the game. I'm unsure if I've actually killed those guys with self-defense. All I know is that I had a dream and I stabbed them again. And I'm unsure. It's a very bizarre game, very bizarre game. Now the character models in this games, now they are mostly kind of stick-thin people. Everyone is malnourished and looking kind of creepy. You have some weird stuff about these characters as well. So you have general human people. You have these witch ladies that are kind of running around on almost nothing. They are just kind of rags and the hair's going mad, but every character seems to think they're very, very beautiful, even though they're kind of weird looking. You have these hollow men. I want to say hollow men, it's not their name. But they wear masks with just 3 dots on it. Eyes, mouth, that's it. Kind of like No Face in Spirited Away, except less expression. And they're very thin and gangly. They are a big part of this story, and from what I understand, they are ex-humans. You know, people who decided that either they don't belong to the world anymore and want to just kind of get rid of the humanity, so they become these people, or they have died and they are just their conscience personified. Then you have these bird people, which stand about 8 foot tall, huge, kind of like plague doctors, who know a lot about you and won't tell you anything, but kind of give you guiding hints all the way through. And then you have the boatmen as well, and the boatmen are really quite cool. They got some really cool character models on that one. They remind me of the dude from Dark Crystal. I will put it up here once I found it during the edit as well, so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about here. The story itself is actually quite interesting. As I said, you are returning to town and now you're being framed for a murder, so everybody in town hates you, absolutely hates you, to the point that I really struggled to get to one area because one person will turn up and just beat the heck out of me. And I died and I moved closer just where I spawned, and I was able to get to the place just by dying often enough, which isn't a great mechanic, but it's the only way I could do it without being beaten up all the time. There are weapons, there are health stats. Item management is a big thing in this game as well. You have to manage your food, because you'll get hungry, you have to manage your stamina, your thirst, your exhaustion. You know, there's lots of things to deal with, and the game doesn't handhold you at all into telling you how any of this works and who you can talk to. And also, after the introduction of the game as well, it stops auto-saving you to do that manually and doesn't tell you how to do that until you stumble across a big wooden clock. Look for the clocks. Any place you meet people, there's usually a clock about. Just try it. Go from there. That's my advice to you if you're going to play this game. You know, those things may sound like something that people really love. Personally, not my thing. I don't really care for item management and you know, health and stamina management, that kind of thing. The only game that for me that really worked well, because it's just so simple, was Deadly Premonition. But I'm not going to get into Deadly Premonition because I could talk for a long time about that. But Pathologic 2, I've only played a little bit now. I've played about 4 or 5 hours or so, and I've not got very far at all. I found it quite frustrating, but for the most part I am intrigued and I do want to finish this game off, and I want to play it as well. Plus, you know, there's DLC to check out as well, and yeah, it's interesting. You learn about your character through people interacting and looking at you. So I found that my character is a big hulking dude who's quite fat and balding and just covered in blood almost all the time. Whereas obviously when you play a game like this, you just don't tend to think that you're playing generic man. It turns out, no, you're playing somebody who doesn't look like a generic game character, but I don't think you ever get to actually see your character model in the game. Ever. But again, not completed the game, don't know yet. Everywhere you go, there are areas on a map that's quite open. I get the idea that the developers really wanted it to kind of not have loading screens, so you went from one area to another without any loading, but every time you went to a different area, there is a good 10-15 seconds or so where it just quickly loads, whilst you're not able to do anything, just looking at the scenery. Irritating, but not a game breaker at all. No way. The thing that was a little bit of a game breaker though was every now and again the game would stutter and start, especially when more people kind of just started arriving. So I was in a fight between like 3 people and I'd lost dramatically, but it would just kind of stutter and start, and I wasn't able to kind of get my bearings of what I was actually supposed to be doing in this fight because I couldn't work it out. You know, so look, I've just kind of spoken about this game. I haven't really reviewed it. I don't really know much about this game. For me, it's not something that I want to. It's not a game I'd pick. Let's put it that way. This is just going to be a straight up average game for me. I'm going to put it at 6 because I think potentially it's going to have some kick-ass stuff coming on later on in the game itself. Some really cool story elements to happen, and it's something I want to play, but I do feel that I haven't played the first game, so playing the second one, I may have missed out on a lot of what's actually going on. It kind of feels to just throw you in the deep end in this game, which is fun for people who enjoy that kind of thing. But also, I do think that part of my negativity towards this game, giving it a 6 out of 10, is probably because I've just been playing a massive amount of Mario Odyssey, and that game is unbelievably bright and fun and just so good. It's really good fun, and I think I may have put a little damper on it. So apologies on that one. So you know, I did have somebody with me whilst playing this game. So watching, they were really enjoying. My girlfriend was really enjoying everything that was going on. She really enjoyed the world. She enjoyed basically everything about the game that didn't stop and start. You know, it's very much her thing. You know, these kind of games when it comes to item management. I imagine she would really enjoy playing this game on a regular basis, or for a long period, or at least to completion. But again, not really for me. So guys, that was my thoughts on Pathologic 2. An interesting game, not bad by any means, but very middling for myself, as I said. But we do have lots of other things going on at Respawning, you know, so we're going to have loads more videos coming out, especially with what's going on right now as well, especially with the coronavirus. In fact, Javier actually has a list of games that he thinks you should be playing during the coronavirus as well, during the lockdown. So that's the last time I'm going to mention that through any of my videos. I think it's enough of it on social media and in the news. You don't need it for myself as well, especially with another member of the Respawning team covering it and all. But I am going to be starting something new in the future. I'm going to be taking requests. Starting next week, I'm going to take a request to review a very small game as part of a segment during Bear's Den. So the show's expanding. Things are changing a little bit. It's going to be quite nice. But guys, have yourself a great day. Don't forget to keep your hands clean. Mean that, keep your hands clean. It's not hard to wash your hands, guys, and just be nice to each other, yeah?